Hello, my sexy muffins, and welcome back to another video. In this video, we are doing part 2 of Velvette's Doll, and we'll do a quick summary of what happened in the first video. First video, you were going to look for a job after the extermination. I can't remember exactly, but you were going basically to look for a job. You didn't want to work for Vox because you were nervous about that. And you definitely didn't want to work for Valentino, so you thought Velvette's department would be the best. So that's where you went to. You got your interview with her, and you did do a soul contract, but you did do a business contract to work for her and be her personal assistant, more or less. She is Yandere for you, the gender neutral listener, and all that good stuff. And we ended off the first video. If you want to go check it out, I will have it linked somewhere here. If I remember to link it in the info card. And yes, you are basically were questioning if this was a good idea, if it was worth all the perks and stuff, what you may have just gotten yourself into. And now we're going to get on to the next video, which is I'm going to be planning on us trying on clothes and stuff, and basically Velvet, I checking you out. Anyways, let's get on to the video, but first, disclaimer. Disclaimer, Velvet is not Yandere in canon. This is just for fun and not to be taken seriously at all. Simping for fictional characters and fictional Yanderes is fine, just do not be illegal or gross about it, and remember to separate fiction from reality and headcanon from canon. Thank you. And now, let's get on to business. Okay, so, sorry, tongue twister. Anyways, you came down from your room, which was close to Velvet's, and saw her getting fabrics out and snapping at her employees. You walk over to her. Velvet, you ask, not calling her ma'am this time as she asked you not to. Oh, there you are, sweetie, she says, and takes your hand and pulls you over to her. Now, we got to try on so many things for you because I need to know what looks best on you that is in my brand. But first, let's get your measurements. You didn't know she had to take measurements. I mean, she told you already once, but you had heard she can basically like swipe any clothes off you, or was that of people that were under her contract? Still, it was odd that she was doing the measuring herself. She slowly starts to measure you, and you feel like her hands lingered in some places more than they should, but you didn't say anything. She's your boss, and she's an overlord, so you didn't want to upset her because you heard what happened to people that upset these three overlords and ended up being at Val's disposal, and that was something you did not want at all. Is everything all right? You ask, trying to be casual. Oh, yes, you just have amazing bone structure and such a good figure, she says, running her hands down your side, and you tense a bit. Thank you, you say, trying not to giggle as you were slightly ticklish. Oh, is someone ticklish? She said with a smirk, and starts to wiggle her fingers onto your sides, and you couldn't help but burst out laughing. Ah, Velvet, stop! Stop! You say breathlessly as you try to not laugh so hard. Oh, I'm gonna have to take advantage of this later, she says, and gives you a little pinch on the side before finishing up. Okay, I got your measurements. Now let's see you change into some of these. You blush, and she glared at everyone in the room. Everyone, get out. Everyone but you got out, and you sense the mood with her. They are never going to see you undress, she says, and then leads you to a change-in screen. You get into the first outfit, and then we'll see how it looks, she says. You nodded your head and changed into the first outfit. And this went on for like 3 hours straight of just trying on outfits, and Velvet walking around you and making sure that every inch of you was perfect. In the end, you had about 30 new outfits, which was obscene in your mind, but you didn't complain as much because they were free. And now I will just burn these old things, she says, grabbing your clothes that were on the floor. There's no need for them anymore, she says, and tosses them in a dirty hamper of waste fabric to go to the incinerator. You nodded your head. Those were your favorite comfy clothes, but you couldn't say anything against Velvet. It was just something that had to be done. Okay, so now let's get something to eat, she says and dials up the phone. Hey, room service. I want two steaks and two glasses of wine and a bottle of wine. Top notch. Now, she says firmly. And you saw how she took control of things easily and how she was really a boss Birch, and how she was very much in control. It was something you admired in her, and now you realize why she was one of the newest overlords. She might be one of the youngest overlords, but for sure she had power and control in her thing, and you wonder just how much power she does have. She leads you over to the table, and soon an imp comes up and lays down the food for you. I hope you like it, he says, and then runs off, not saying another word. And you dig in. The steak was so tender and good. I am so sorry if you are a vegetarian. If you are a vegetarian or a vegan, it's a vegan steak, I guess. Okay, but she would have learned that about you because she's dug into your social media and all that stuff. You loved it that it was your favorite cut of meat or vegan meat, and that it actually tasted so good. Your You did not realize that Velvet was watching you as you ate and devoured the steak or vegan steak. Do you like it? She asks, smiling at you. You swallow the piece of meat in your mouth. It is really good, you say, smiling. She nods her head and looks at you. So your name. What had you want to come to work for me? Well, I lost my job with the extermination and everything, and I didn't want to work for Vox because he's intimidating and it makes me a little nervous. And Valentino was out because I didn't want to be a part of, that stuff. You say, scratching the back of your head. You were the best bet because you three are the most influential overlords in hell that would be able to move someone up along the things and such. You admitted honestly, and I just really needed the job. That makes sense, she says, watching you intensely. You're never allowed to be alone with Valentino. Is that clear? She says. You look at her, and we're a little bit happy with that she was never going to let you be alone with Valentino. That took a huge weight off your shoulders. Yeah, that sounds great, you say with a smile. Thank you, Velvet. No problem. Anytime, sweetheart, she says. She was giving you a lot of pet names. She very seldomly called you by your first name. You have noticed she's called you baby, doll, sweetheart, sweetie, etc. So is she just someone that has a lot of pet names for people? You did not know, but you shrugged your shoulders and continued to eat. Once the meal was done, you and Velvet go to lounge about, and that is when Valentino and Vox came in, and Valentino instantly looked at you. So, who is the little sinner? He says, looking at you, and you look at him. That made you nervous. Back off, Valentino. They are mine, she says firmly, and Valentino sensed a change in the room and threw up his hands. Okay, okay, Velvet. Whatever you say, he says, and moves to one of the couches to sit down. Vox looks at you and shrugs his shoulder before flicking on the TV. Anyways, that is part two. I hope that you all enjoyed this. And if you would like to see more, comment below what you would like to see, and I will do my best to do it. If there's anything you want to see in this mini series, like special little specials of like maybe seasonal specials, you and Velvet go into Pride Month because Pride Month's just around the corner. If I have time, I could do a Pride Month episode with Velvet if that's something you guys would like to see, and I can try my best to do it. I have a full roster for Pride Month and Father's Day already out, so it's going to be oof. And anyways, Patreon outro. Oh yes, also before Patreon outro. And if there's any ideas of what you want to see, like if Reader gets sick, or if not Reader, if Listener gets sick, or Listener's Velvet's first day, or Velvet's feelings on Listener from her perspective. Well, mostly her perspective, just not me saying I and stuff. But anyways, if you want to see any of that, any ideas at all, I would love to have them because that will put more enjoyment into it, and also will give me more ideas so I can do it more frequently. Thank you, and now Patreon outro. Patreon outro. Thank you, Gav, for being my first patron. You are wonderful, beautiful, stunning, gorgeous. Thank you, Gav. And thank you, Wicked Brony, for being my second patron. You are also wonderful, beautiful, stunning, gorgeous as well. Thank you, Wicked Brony. I hope that you all enjoyed this. And if you would like to see more, you know what to do. And stay sexy, all my sexy muffins. Bye bye. Secret outro time, secret outro time, secret outro time, secret outro with a baseball bat. Welcome to the secret outro, and the secret outro of the video today is if you were in this situation, how would you feel about Velvette measuring you and being a little bit odd with the clothing and stuff? I would be uncomfortable because I do not like being touched. I am touched. Well, I'm not touched averse in the adult fun time way. I'm more touched adverse with people touching me and measuring me and that stuff. It has to have the right mood, you know? And that was not the right mood. Like, I would get overstimulated so fast. Anyways, I hope that you all enjoyed this and stay sexy on my sexy muffins. Bye bye.